Hey, what is up YouTube? It is Toy Adventures, finally back again with some decent reviews to bring you guys. Both G.I. Joe, third party, and of course, Jurassic World. And for today, we're going to do something pretty awesome, although something I'm a little late on, I'll admit, but I'm there in a reasonable amount of time. Today, we're taking a look at the brand new G.I. Joe Classified Series Crankcase and Awe Striker. So, for those of you that don't know, Scotty in my toy movie Project Guardian, the redhead Englishman, is actually a crankcase figure from the G.I. Joe line. And this is him finally brought into the 6-inch classified toy line of G.I. Joe with a bit of a new iteration. This one's a bit more accurate to how he appeared in the cartoon, as opposed to the figure you see in Project Guardian. Just a cool little detail for the fans who watch the toy movie and all my reviews. For to know, this is who that character's figure is. He's a G.I. Joe named Crankcase. And of course, he comes with the Awe Striker. There are notable Joes that when they come, it means that their vehicles come along with them. As soon as I said that, I completely blanked. Of course, you have Wild Bill with the Dragonfly, Clutch with the Vamp, Ace with the Sky Striker, usually Steeler with the Mobat, although that didn't quite happen, and then of course Crankcase with the Awe Striker. Those are just those pairings that always happen, so it's really nice to A, get him, and B, the most important bit, get a new vehicle in the classified line. This being a dune buggy type vehicle, much more so than the original Awe Striker was. Whether you like that or not, it's going to be up to you. Personally, I love it. I like that they took a real world vehicle and implemented it into the G.I. Joe roster, kind of like how they did with the Dragonfly and the Super Cobra, which is what it's based off of. I'm just happy that this has a bit more of a real world look than the classic Awe Striker did. I would have been happy with both, you know, if they just went straight classic, but I am happy that they did decide to do a little bit of something unique here, and something unique to classified specifically. So that's really nice. The box here is pretty standard, a really nice image or render more so of the Awe Striker with Crankcase there. Then you get a nice little window here showing off Crankcase. Very nice. This says G.I. Joe the Classified Series. Up at the top, it is 171. Here in the back, you get a nice readout, loadout of what you get in the box. That being the figure, some ammunition, helmets, accessories for the figure, gas cans, ammo cans, toolkits, rockets, the vehicle itself, and the machine guns and armaments that go with it. Over here, we have a really nice little diagram of some of the unique prints and features that you can expect, that being a little GPS printed on display, some cup holders, which is pretty cool. I don't even know if the Vamp had that, but we'll compare the two. And I guess this is just back detailing. I'm not sure what they're trying to show off there. It's just the back of the vehicle, it seems, but I guess we'll see once we open it up and find out what it is. Anyway, that's pretty much it for the box. Hit the side, you do get a nice little drawn illustration of Crankcase there. Pretty basic. One thing to note is even in this promotional art, they had the common courtesy to give Crankcase his chin strap, whereas the actual figure has that damn chin strap undone like it always is ever since the Grunt figure. I really wish they would just go back and redo that with a completely secure chin strap like they have with Doc. That would be so nice. Just use the Doc helmet and take off the little pills on the sides and use that. That one would be so much better. But that looks a lot more, you know, military, official. The days of not wearing your chin straps are over. It's all about practicality now. So that's pretty much it for the packaging. Let's go ahead and get this thing open and see what we get. All right, here we have Crankcase out of the box with all his accessories laid out before us. As you can see, you are given a little necktie, except this necktie is more just dangling on his neck, whereas this version of the necktie is brought up over his nose like a cowboy or an outlaw. You get the classic helmet that bugs me because the chin strap's undone. You get the same binoculars you got with the retro Duke. Sorry about that. You get a really nice piece of goggles that look like aviator style goggles almost. But what's really nice about them is they are actually translucent. They are see-through. That is really nice, and it seems like they're doing that more often because I just got the Firefighter, and it also has a pair of translucent goggles. You get a more dirt bike styled helmet, which is pretty nice. A little Cup of Joe, little coffee mug thing. You get a pretty funny little off-road visor cap. And of course his weaponry, which just consists of a pistol and a knife. So first, let's go ahead and take a look at Crankcase before we take a look at that beautiful beast behind him. So, Crankcase here looks really nice with this new design. I'll go ahead and flash an image of what he normally looks like. He does usually have this kind of green sweater vest over his beige or tan fatigue shirt. You get a nice little G.I. Joe logo. That is my favorite of the G.I. Joe logos, that one and the eagle. I'm not a big fan of the classic, color stripe ones. I like this more believable military patch look, especially like the eagle one that I believe was introduced in Pursuit of Cobra. That is another banger. Other than that, there is no other markings on his uniform. Just the tan shirt with the beige pants here. As for his equipment, it is just this little kind of chest harness thing. I haven't really seen this too much. You can see some molded in detail right here of what looks like little zipper pulls or something like that. Kind of like those little tabs you have on zippers. Some cool pouches in there. A radio, which is nice. See a nice little painted radio there. It connects into the bag, so maybe that's where the main unit is. The belt is pretty simple here. Taking a look down at his holster here, this is really nice. It is a traditional clasp holster. So instead of it, you just kind of sticking the weapon down in there, you actually have to unbuckle it. Then you could put the pistol in there. Now you buckle it back over it. That's so cool. I love that they're changing up little things with the accessories here. That little, added bit is really awesome. And it makes it look like a much more believable tactical, not tactical, but kind of rustic almost kind of holster. Because, this guy's riding around in this thing, he's bouncing up on the down, he's going over off-road and stuff. So it's more believable that he needs a more secure holster. I like little character details just like that. So, build-wise, the chest here is brand new. That is easy to see. The sweater vest look is brand new, whereas the arms are probably reuse. These look like pretty reused arms. The pants here are definitely reused from Footloose. The holster seems to be new. And that you just have this little knife sheath, which is on his leg. Just go ahead and boop, right there. So this is him fully armed up, and then let's try out some of his accessories. My personal favorite being this kind of cowboy style necktie. You just put it on his neck first, then you pop his head back on. That's that. The goggles are kind of tight on him. As you can see, they're pretty tough to fit on his head. You really got to use your nails in there to really get it positioned in there correctly. But you can get it if you just give it the time. So that looks really cool. And of course, you can either have him with this kind of silly, almost kind kind of like is it a poker player or a banker am I thinking of? I can't think of like the classic cartoon thing with the guy with the visor. I don't know if it's a banker or a poker guy. It's so vague in my mind. But anyway, that's what it's making me think of. You know, not very military. This is also kind of like tennis mom vibes kind of visor. So won't be using that much. Definitely will be either using his classic helmet, and I might actually go and get him a dock one. Although I realize probably one of the reasons they might have not used the dock one is that with that you can't have the necktie on or the kind of face mask on, because it would have gotten in the way of where the helmet straps would connect. So that is a bummer. Although I still might just get an extra dock just to use the helmet, and then I guess cannibalize the rest of the parts, you know? And you can put his goggles right here to have him fully decked out. Of course, he's got to have his cup of joe, his morale boost. There it goes into the carpet of nothingness. So a pretty decent figure here. I'm quite happy with it. It's nothing too crazy, too wild and special for Crankcase. It's about what I expected they're gonna do for him. You know, a unique body, a unique head, and then some clever reuse around. And I'm happy with it. He looks good. Here is that cup of coffee, by the way. He just found it off the carpet. It's just a little coffee mug that says Yo Joe. Pretty simple. Pretty easy. Taking a look at this helmet. Trying to fit it on him is tough. And there you go. Here he is with that look. Now I do have one complaint with this figure, and it's with the build quality of it. It's super loose and floppy in the chest. And I literally just opened this thing. So that's kind of a bummer. That's not really anything I can fix. I can't, you know, it's not like if they had loose legs, I could replace the legs, whereas the whole body here, this is Crankcase. The green sweater vest, this is him. So I'm just gonna have to deal with this kind of really weak, loose waist and hope, in vain probably, that it doesn't get any worse than this. So that is a bummer. Then again, he's probably just going to be relegated to sitting in the vamp on the shelf most of the time. Or not in the vamp, in the All Striker. So I guess it could possibly be worse, right? Anyway, that's it for all his stuff. He's about a 7 out of 10 figure. Nothing too crazy or special or amazing, but a good enough interpretation of a needed character. So, taking a look here at the All Striker, go ahead and get him fully out of the way. This is really cool. Taking it on a modern military dune buggy look with this really nice OD green to fit in with the rest of the Joe arsenal. You have Joe logos here, some cool decals, and what's really special here is that it is armed to the damn teeth. I mean, just look here at the back. This wasn't on the original All Striker. Now, whether it's on subsequent All Strikers, I don't know. I don't really study them, but I know the original one had a big old beam cannon on the back here, whereas this one goes for extra passengers and kind of turns this into the damn Warthog. I'm gonna be real. Just look at this. This is the Warthog. You have a driver, you have a gunner in the back, you have a side gunner who can be either using this M60 looking machine gun, or of course any weapon that they bring themselves, the rocket launcher if you're smart, and it's an off-road scout vehicle. It is the G.I. Joe's Warthog, more so than the Vamp is even, which is pretty surprising because I always thought of the Vamp as the Warthog, but this really fits all the ticks for a Warthog. Off-road, light reconnaissance, 3-seater, machine gun in the back, you know, it's all there. So this is pretty cool to me as a Halo fan to see this kind of vehicle enter the Joe ranks. So anyway, we have really nice rubber tires here. Shocks on the tires are pretty damn nice. This really makes me want to make this a RC vehicle. If I had that kind of crazy talent, I would. makes me wish that they made this an RC vehicle. Would have been an interesting HasLab. I probably would have backed it, to be honest. I mean, that would have been a good excuse to make it a HasLab. Oh, it's RC and it's in scale and it has all these accessories. So, you know, that would have been really cool if they're going to do crazy HasLabs instead of just making a vehicle that can light up, you know. Anyway, moving here to the back, this whole section is of course removable because I know there was a large section of people who were complaining about this whole area here not being removable. Although it seems like when you do remove it, there will be this kind of empty chunk here, and I'll go ahead and demonstrate that now. All you got to do is pull this back half off, pull. This one's a little bit more tricky. This one, it's tricky because these are really pushed in hard. Yeah. And with that removed, you can have still the classic striker look. Looking like that. But that just, it doesn't look quite as complete to me. Like, maybe they should have included something back here just to, like, I don't know. For people who don't want the back seat, it just looks a little kind of like there's a big chunk taken out of it, you know what I mean? Maybe that's just me and I'm being crazy. But for those wondering, absolutely you can switch it to just strictly a two-seater. But I love packing as many Joes as possible on vehicles. So I think this is gonna be not a three-seater, but a five-seater because I'm gonna sneak a guy on this side, I'm gonna sneak a guy on that side, and it's gonna be just a quick, rapid introduction of some special ops troops into a hazardous or maybe a spec ops environment, you know? So really cool that they even in the first place added those extra large wheel guards for you to possibly place a figure on there. They do have pegs, interestingly enough, as you can see. They do have these weird pegs right here. And I'm not sure if that is for these ammo drums to peg into, because if you didn't know, you also get these little toolboxes, and you get an ammo box similar to it. This opens up, there's no tools in it, but you can put the tools that you get with like cover girl and clutch in there. And these can probably peg in right here. No, not really. The peg is too big. So I don't know what that actually is for. Other than maybe something else in the future that can plug into it. As for now, I'm kind of stumped because there's nothing else that this comes with that could really fit that specific kind of peg. So until we figure that out, it's just a random peg on there, but I'm going to use it as figure storage, of course. Moving over here to look at the interior. Now that this top is off, we're going to go ahead and take advantage of that. Take a look inside the driver's section. You have a lot of really cool and well-detailed displays in there. Speedometers, all kinds of meters and whatnot. Of course, the GPS screen right there. Some more data and info right here in the second-hand compartment. Yes, this radio comes off and the figure can hold it and display it. Also, yes, it does not plug in very well. It stays in there very loosely, but it seems like the stickiness of your finger alone is enough to pull it back out. So, yeah. All of the, I'm gonna go ahead and pull off the antenna right now because it keeps poking the camera. Anyway, moving down here, all these little gizmos right here, they move. These all move independently. And of course, wherever that piece of, here we go, that coffee went. Just plugs right in there. Perfect. It almost makes me wish more of these Joes would come with cups. So this would be a little bit more of a useful feature, you know, because there's two of them. There's actually four of them. I don't know what that smaller peg down there is meant for. I don't know. But anyway, if you wanted to arm your guy back up, it is pretty simple. You're just going to put the seat back in. This literally just plugs in with a single peg. Then this one's a bit tough because you really got to kind of force them into each peg. You can't just kind of put it over it and just press down and they all plug in. Now you have to go one by one, push them in. And sometimes moving it or touching it undoes the other one because it's not secure yet. So putting this top one on is a little bit of a pain. You have a little bit of patience with it. Then this back roll cage slots into these two up here and then these two down here. That is pretty straightforward and simple. Just like that. And then for armaments, you have, of course, the Modus 50 cal, which really does not plug in well at all up here. It is super loose. Nothing is really holding it in that well. I would say if you're really dead set and you're confident, you're always gonna want this thing up here, maybe find some way to secure it a little more permanently. I was thinking maybe super glue, but then you couldn't rotate it, so I don't know, maybe screw it in or something. But it's as it plugs in, it's just not deep enough or have enough grab or firm grip to hold it in there, especially when you want to, of course, add your machine gun belt in there to add the realism, which has a nice little plug right here, so we can plug in right next to the machine gun. And wrong side. Pretty sure never actually used this one. We're just gonna pretend. Here, come on, get in there. Alright, we're just gonna pretend I put it in there because I don't want to keep fumbling with it. Then, of course, these two rocket launchers on each of their side. Plug in real easy. They even have a size designation. So it's big, then small peg. These have a big, then small peg. So you know which way to push them, put them in, so you know they're not going to go in backwards. And when you detonate them, of course, you just blow up your whole vehicle. So that's it all armed up. Of course, you also have the antenna. For some reason, you really have to press in hard with everything on this set. Nothing quite just, oh well, duh. It's because one of these has a straight end and you're supposed to put it in that way. So, that is pretty much it for the All-Striker. Rolls really nice. Rubber tires, suspension's quite nice on it, at least in the front tires here. You can go over some pretty uneven terrain. Back here, you do get nice shocks as well. Also, you can have a figure stand on the back here, so damn, screw 5 people. You can have up to 7 now if you have one on each side. You can bring in a whole squad of troops into battle with just this, what is supposed to be a light recon vehicle, which is awesome. I love that there's so much modularity to this, and no doubt people like Gridiron are gonna add even more accessories to this thing to truly trick it out. One more feature that is pretty cool, a working winch. We always love a working winch on toys, especially Jurassic Park ones, but these G.I. Joe ones are nice to have them too. You know, maybe a tank or something, who knows, gets damaged, and it's a little hard to roll up again. There we go. And just needs help. Who knows? Pretty cool though. You also have storage for backpacks on either side. So if your Joes have backpacks, they can store them right there. Nice and easy. So yeah, this is really cool. Let's go ahead and get Crankcase in there. And why don't we go ahead and get a whole squad. First, let's get Crankcase in there. We're gonna get a whole squad of troops, just like I said, to ride on this thing and see quite how it looks. So here he is inside the Striker. He is a little cramped, I'm not gonna lie. It is a little tricky to get him to sit down super flush in there, and even then his head, at least with this helmet on, bumps up against the top of this. They really should have made this roll cage a bit taller, especially because if it's not gonna fit him that well, imagine trying to fit like Sergeant Slaughter or God forbid Heavy Duty in here. It's gonna be a nightmare. I would probably reserve those super tall, bulky figures for the back gunner seats or hanging on the sides. In fact, speaking of that, let's go ahead and get some extra Joes, get the Vamp, compare this to the Vamp, maybe even a helicopter as well, and see how it would look all armed up. And here we have, let's go break her out the side. Here we have the Striker as a true war party wagon. As I described, this is 7 figures, fully loaded, up on this beast. Let's go ahead and bring her up so we can take a look. We've got Crankcase up in the driver's seat, one of the 50th anniversary Halo jumpers in the passenger seat. We've got Footloose there on the side, another 50th anniversary trooper on the back, or I think it's 60th anniversary. And then we've also got Dial Tone way back there on the back of the vehicle. And we have Recondo on the other side with, of course, Heavy Duty manning their heavy machine gun. So this, I wanted to make sure to try and use a varied amount of heights and thicknesses and bodies to try and show you how and where they best be suited. Like I said, characters like Sergeant Slaughter, Roadblock, and Heavy Duty here would best be served on one of the outside, or of course in the machine gun right there. He fits perfect right there, whereas he'd probably be a lot more cramped inside the roll cage. And you can easily fit figures right here. They actually sit quite snug. I can roll it around. Well, that's because I bumped him, but you can easily get them to sit snug, especially if you're having trouble with that. You can easily have them hold on to the roll bar. That's another easy option. But display-wise, it won't be hard. They just sit right there, and it's pretty snug. You can roll it okay, not anything crazy, but you could probably get a lot better if you attach the hand there. Yeah, you see? So you can actually quite comfortably, and not have them worried about them falling off the moment you push the thing, have 7 figures loaded up on the Striker, ready for battle. Here it is, beep beep, compared to the Vamp, and this is crazy to see, but the Striker, which is supposed to be the lighter vehicle, is actually bigger and longer than the Vamp is, making the Vamp more of a smaller profile and therefore more of a adequate recon vehicle than even the Vamp, which is supposed to be the Joe's recon vehicle. I'm not mad about this in any sense of the word. It actually makes me hopeful that they'll up the scale of the rest of the Joe vehicles maybe down the line and keep with this larger scale to fit them better. I did feel like the Vamp's really not that small, especially for the figures. It feels very fair. Maybe the back could have been extended a bit to carry more figures, but other than that, nah, the Vamp is still good. It's just unexpected that the Striker would be longer, and I think that's because instead of going for the more stout version of the Striker that is original to Hasbro, they went with a more realistic and elongated dune buggy style. So that's that. Now for the last bit, we're just going to go ahead and get our chopper and kind of take a look at the Joe's arsenal. Before I did any of that, I just wanted to show a better angle here of how big the Striker is compared to the Dragonfly. What can I possibly mean by, something else? Something big, something bigger. Well, this is quite the upgrade the Joes have been needing to really bring the fight to Cobra. Next review, guys, we'll be taking a look at the Ramen Toys 1/12 scale Hunter tank. This is no Jeep, this is no car, this is no little ATV. This is your MBT, your main battle tank. Completely compatible and in scale with the Classified Sections line. Guys, this is the Joy Adventures. I'll catch you guys in the next review. Signing out.